Hi! I'm Barb.
And I'm Alex.
And we're Enchanterium.
Welcome to the Christmas video that almost didn't happen because I got sick a week before Christmas. I guess the theme of today's video is fitting then, since this Christmas video was almost ruined and the doll we're making is inspired by the most famous Christmas ruiner, the Grinch. Let's go.
For a long time we had a different idea on what to do as a Christmas special this year, but Barb got sick and the workshop is still not ready for a clear cutting, so we opted for a simpler and quicker project. I've recently watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey, and I got inspired to make a cute witch doll with a Grinch touch. Maybe she's the daughter of the Grinch? Since we've cut our last Venus in half to make a zombie cat dog Enchan, and dyed our only green Gorgon girl black for no reason at all, the most green girl in our stock box is Frankenstein. Barb is making a cheesecake in the background while I'm heating the doll's head in boiling water to remove it. Then I'm taking out the hair, but there was so much glue that I had to cut the scalp in half and scrape it all with a lino cut tool. I'm removing this beautiful face with pure acetone and sanding down all the painted stitches. Remember that acetone can melt the plastic body, so to remove any painted details, I recommend sanding. We need that toxic green color on her body, so after spraying it with Mr. Super Clear, I'm adding 3 coats of chalk pastels and sealant. The first Christmassy detail is going to be a sock and a stocking in red shades. Here you can see me drawing the guidelines for the stripes and then mindlessly painting over them. Oh, here's the moment of realization that painting it all red first is stupid because I will lose the sketch, so I'm painting the stocking stripe by stripe. And after 2 coats of matte acrylic varnish, it looks like this.
I really needed to take it easy this time, so I'm making this outfit from a Doublewean pattern by Requiem Art Designs. It should be Christmasy or Dolmas, actually. I was supposed to start sewing last weekend, but I was suddenly struck with a damn heavy flu and then slept for 3 days. And then I was like, well, maybe we should cancel the doll. And then the next day I guilt-tripped myself into doing the doll anyway. The shirt for the doll is pretty easy, but has some nice details like a collar and these pointy cuffs. I had to really ease myself into sewing in this scale again, as we recently did so many smart dolls that I got used to having a lot of fabric to work with. The main star of this pattern is the skirt, which has an elf/witch vibe to it. I'm making it out of this gorgeous linen I bought to make a skirt for myself, but we all know that will never happen, so I gave up hoarding it. I sewed in the darts in the fun panels and then attached the panels to one another to make the main body of the skirt. I top stitched the seam allowances, pressed it, and it is time to line it, which this pattern does very smartly. Instead of piecing everything twice, you just cut the lining after you piece the main part. It's less bulky and it's easier. Win-win. The raw edge gets protected with fray check and the pieces can be sewn right sides together. After flipping it to the right side, I can edge stitch the piece with some wire to make the fun panels posable, if you will. Then you add a waistband and call it a day. I am using my sick privilege to do all of the lazy things that I never do. And I am sewing this shut on the doll. Because you guys cannot complain that I'm being lazy when I should be in bed. And I am making a doll for you instead. So you're gonna have to take this being sewn shut on the doll. That's all I came here to say. Because the fabric I used was a bit heavy, I took some white net and elastic and made a quick petticoat to give the skirt a bit more of a bell shape. To finish it off, I attached pom-poms to the tips of the long curvy panels.
Her face needs the same greening treatment as her body. This was supposed to be a quick and simple project, but you'll see in a minute how many times I've started this face. After 2 coats of Mr. Super Clear and 3 coats of pastels and sealant, I can start drawing the sketch of the eyes and brows. I want a sassy and stubborn look with a cute and confident smile. In our last video of Clover from Totally Spies, I did very fluffy eyelashes, but in an organized and stylized way. This time, I wanted to embrace the chaos and paint long lashes that don't necessarily make sense. The Grinch from the movie has these super long lashes, and I wanted to show that on our doll too. But I don't know, she just doesn't look like Enchanterium's work. There was something uncanny in this look, and I had to erase it. The second attempt was just boring. No emotions, no sass, so I did a third try. But the eyes were kind of wonky, and I didn't like it. So here we have a fourth attempt. Is it going to be the final one? Let's paint and see. I'm still in a mood for long and fluffy lashes, but I think I need more control over the look. So I'm painting them in pairs, just like with Clover. When I like the look, I move on to painting whites of the eyes and irises. My favorite moment of painting the face is adding white details like individual hair on the brows, the waterline in the eye, and a few white lashes. The base doll had a few pink spots that I couldn't remove with acetone, so I'm giving her green freckles. But honestly, even if she didn't have any vinyl imperfections, I would still add some skin texture. I just like how it looks. I'm adding more definition to the eyes and started painting the catch lights when I realized she's not Grinch enough. I decided to get some inspiration from the Grinch cartoon from 1966 and repaint her sclera yellow and irises orangey red. So it's a 4.5 attempt, I guess. I added a few white details to the irises and she's almost ready. The last step is to give her face a bit of shine with Pearl X powder and interference gold. I wanted to be a good crafter and sew the head back, but the vinyl was surprisingly hard and I broke the needle. Back to the good old glue gun. I reconnected the head with the body and started gluing the hair. These wefts are made from a brushed and straightened acrylic yarn, and I'm placing them starting from the back of the head and going up. Sometimes some wefts are not as pretty as the others, so I use the wonky ones on the bottom and save the smooth glue wefts for the top. Yarn is pretty easy to style, but I'm preparing the parting weft as I do with nylon hair. I wrap it around a cardboard and press with a hair straightener. This makes a very sharp and straight edge. The most tricky part is to glue that weft in place, but after that you can add another one that will cover the ends. When all the glue is dry, I can style the hair. I chose pigtails because I think it suits a witchy but also Christmassy vibe.
Any witch and any Santa themed thing needs to have a hat. So I'm making a Santa witch hat. For that, you need 2 donuts, a weird triangle, and some fur. I pinned the fur to one of the donuts and then the other donut on top. I sewed around the circle and set it aside. Then I made the other piece into a cone by folding it in half and stitching along the straight edge. The last step is to basically attach them together, which is easier when you snip the edges to ease the 2 shapes together. I did the sewing by hand here. I know, such poświęcenie.
Sacrifice.
Wow, Barb! We know that you hate hand sewing, so we're so proud of you for hand sewing this. Okay, great, thanks. Okay. And then you flip it around, and bam! A Santa witch hat. It is a bit disproportionate because I didn't take the floof into account when I eyeballed the pattern, but it still looks cute. As a final sewn detail, I am making a cute ribbon to put onto her shirt as a bow tie, and we can go into final details mode. Wop 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 wop! Or something.
What I like about doing witchy characters the most is decorating the hat. I'm gluing ribbons, leaves made from green craft foam, beads, rhinestones, chains, tiny nail decorations, and all the things I find that fit. It's the same as always. Barb does a thing and I decorate it. So the skirt could use also some detail. I'm painting stripes in the front, back and sides. Remember to add an opaque lighter layer before you paint the color you want. For the details, I'll be using golden 3D fabric paint, but put in a cellophane cone. This is the technique I use for henna painting, and I think 3D paints are way more comfortable to use this way than with the original packaging. I also added a thin golden ribbon to the waist and started sewing the golden chain in an asymmetrical fashion. A few green leaves and sparkles to match the hat, and the outfit is almost ready. I gave her half gloves because A, it's cold outside, and B, so she has a better grip when flying on a broom, which I'm going to make right now. This is one of the roses I got from my ex a few years back. Well, he finally proved being useful for once, because I'm going to transform this dry stick into a witchy broom. I shamefully stole some decorations from my mom's little Christmas tree. I don't really know what it's called, but it will become a brush. I'm gluing it to the handle and adding branches that I also took from a bouquet. This golden thing was also a decoration for flowers, and now it's cut into stripes and glued to my little broom. I saved this red ribbon after eating a chocolate rabbit during Easter time, and I'm wrapping it around the brush with addition of the golden ribbon from before. A few green leaves and rhinestones and the broom is ready. It was a super quick craft from things I found in our house. The only piece of the outfit missing are the shoes. I found these shoes from GRINCH and they have the perfect shape for our campy, elfy, grinchy, witchy, Christmassy girl. And with a rhinestone in the front, they are finished.
This is how she turned out. I have no idea how we pulled this one off. I wasn't feeling it or feeling well, and then all of a sudden it was all hands on deck. We cannot not have a Christmas doll ready for you guys. I really hope you like her. You better like her. No, she may not be the most elaborate doll ever made, but she came from the heart. And my inability to rest and do nothing. She is a Grinch and a witch, so a Grinch or a winch, I guess. But her name is Crimson, fitting the color she and, let's be honest, all of us are sporting during the holiday season. Merry Crimson. Big shout out to all of these people whose names are scrolling on the screen. They have supported us by giving a super thanks under our previous video. You guys rock.
Happy holidays to everyone, regardless of what you're celebrating this season. We wish you the best of times with friends and family, and may the next year bring you all the best.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram for some sneak peeks and subscribe for future videos. Have an enchanted day, happy holidays, and we'll see you next year. Bye!